He could have never chosen a dog because a dog is not stealthy. So he really only had two viable options, a snake or a cat. That was the only, he could have been, but even the devil isn't that evil. He couldn't have been a, listen, I haven't put a jab on you cat people in a hot minute. And so there's only two animals that aren't gonna be in heaven. You can figure out what they are. I think God's allergic to cats, that's all I'm saying. So serpents, he chose them because serpents slither up, like you don't even know that they're there. It's what makes him so dangerous, that he'll slither in and he'll slither right back out before you even knew he was there. That's why 2 Corinthians says, for though we walk in the flesh, we don't war in the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare, they're not carnal, but they're mighty in God for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Jesus and being ready to punish all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. We may walk in the flesh, but we don't war in the flesh. The weapons of our warfare are God's thoughts. These are God's thoughts, written through the hands of men. It's why when Jesus was tempted in Luke chapter 4, he didn't use his thoughts, he used God's thoughts. He used his Father's thoughts when he said, it is written. And so we have to submit our thoughts to him and submit ourselves to his thoughts. Hear this, any thought you don't take captive will take you captive. And the devil is so desperate to keep us from knowing God that he will build these like strongholds in our minds, these walls, these barriers that will keep us separated from God. And those strongholds are things like confusion and condemnation, intimidation, and insecurity. And so we are at war with the devil. But how do we win a war with the devil? That scripture just said it. Bring every thought into captivity to the obedience of Jesus. And for so long, like I read that and I thought that meant like when a thought comes in your mind, stop thinking it. You think, well, if I could just stop thinking it, there wouldn't be a temptation. Like, how would I have the thought? Like, if I could just and throw it out. But it's deeper than that. In this context, here's what that means. The saying into captivity means hold it at spear point. It's a battle term. The devil may not be able to read the thoughts in your minds, but he can sure enough put the thoughts in your mind. And he does that by whispering lies into our minds, and they're slick, they're sneaky, they're stealthy. They're things like, if you adjust this, if he were, if she were, and he's subtle, he's stealthy, sly. He slips in, sneaks in, slithers in with perfume or six-pack abs, and he whispers a promise or a thought. You know you can't be. You know you won't be. You've done way too much too. That's why God doesn't love you. You know God doesn't love you. If he did, why did this happen? Or why did he do that? If he loved you, why can't you pay your bills? Why aren't you as successful as him? Why did he leave you for her? If God loved you, why isn't your marriage like their marriage? And their lies, and they're constant.